All right, everybody, welcome to Celebrity Launchpad number 60. Yes. Thank you. When I started this in April of 2013, Hal Elrod was here, and Lisa Sasevich was here. Gosh, I'm trying to think of who else was here. I mean, I have a picture to memorialize it. I would not have thought that I'd be doing my 60th one, and knocking stuff over only 12 years later. But we did a lot of them in the very beginning, and I just want to share with you like some of the things that have contributed to the longevity of this money-making machine, because that's exactly what Celebrity Launchpad has been for me. And it has been a destiny and life-changing machine for the students who have come through. Raise your hand if you've been here before to Celebrity Launchpad. See, look at that. A lot of people come back multiple times. How many times have you been?
4.
This is your 4th one. Okay, good. So, I mean, you're not the only person who's been here 4 times. And number one, I think the most important aspect of the success of Celebrity Launchpad has been this concept of appeal to self-interest, okay? And I would suggest to you that you want to open up a note on your phone and take notes on your phone under celebrity marketing. You already have a note on your phone for celebrity marketing from Houston. Just add into that note, okay? Serious.
I was just waiting for you to finish talking.
Okay. So start a note in the notes on your phone that's called celebrity marketing, because I'm just going to be spewing out all kinds of valuable nuggets all weekend. Igor told me that's one of the reasons why he wanted to come to this event, because I'm just constantly throwing out great nuggets that will help you to have more impact, influence, and income. I like you can transfer it to a notebook later, but I really believe in this idea of having an electronic note on your phone all the time. Appeal to self-interest. The only reason why I continue to do Celebrity Launchpad is because I want to go on TV more. I want to continue developing these relationships with these producers. You know, like one of the producers, who we got?
She got off at Luxor by mistake. She's on her way.
Oh, she got off at Luxor. Okay, that's good. One of these producers is coming for her 59th Celebrity Launchpad. She's missed one because her kid broke her arm. Okay? When she started out, she was a segment producer. Now she's the news director, which is the top job at the #1 station in Phoenix, Arizona, which has gone on to become a top 10 market. Another producer, she was just a segment producer. Now she's the executive producer of the biggest show in one of the top markets in America. I don't want to identify her because this is going to be a public video, and I don't want to identify her because all these producers participate here under condition of anonymity, okay? They don't want anyone to know that they have this advantage. This is an unfair competitive advantage for them, and it's an unfair competitive advantage for me. This is what I'm talking about. And it's an unfair competitive advantage for all of you guys, for sure. You'll never be able to pitch 13 producers in 2.5 days like you're going to do here this weekend. You'll never have that opportunity, including local and national shows. So I've appealed to their self-interest by providing them with great guests. See, I have created segments that have been booked more than 6,800 times. My segments have been booked more than 6,800 times. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly what words to say, what words not to say. I know how to do this better than anyone. So when these producers come here, they know not only are they getting segments that have been created by a master who's better than anybody at creating segments for TV, who's written the books on how to create segments for TV, who's been on every show in America. I've done more than 150 appearances myself, including the Today Show, Fox Business Channel, CNN, HLN, BBC, Sky News. I've been on Fox LA. I've been on NBC New York. I've been on every show in America. And my students have been on every show in America too. Danny DeNovo this morning is on Fox Los Angeles right now doing her 200th television appearance. And she was my second worst case ever. She said, Clint, is this going to work for me? And I said, well, you're not the worst case I've ever had. You are the second worst case I've ever had. But if you do what I tell you to do, this will definitely work for you. And here she is doing her 200th appearance. Why? Because she did exactly what I told her to say and what I told her to do. So by appealing to self-interest for the producers, they know not only are they getting segments that they are going to love, not only are they getting proven experience, like some of them have been here 59 times. This is her 59th Celebrity Launchpad that she'll be attending this weekend, this one producer. And others have been 30, 40, many, many times. But they're also getting guests who I'm training, okay? Nobody is getting the training, the media training that I'm giving you. Now, I know you're, like, the exercise that you mentioned before, which is my favorite exercise, okay? Which is probably the most genius thing that I've created in terms of media training that you don't like. I've had people break down into tears because it is a very difficult exercise. I get it. It's very difficult to do it. And I've even evolved it. From when it began. But the media training that you're going to get here, the rehearsals, is what's going to make you great on TV when you go on TV on these big shows. And these are big shows. We have, 1, 2, 3. We have at least 3 top 10 markets are going to be here this weekend. We have a nationally and internationally syndicated show. We have at least 2 more that are in the top 20. And then we have others that are smaller markets. It's a wonderful combination of shows that are appropriate for everyone, okay? Not everyone should be on Fox LA. Not everyone should be on national TV. But everyone should be doing these smaller shows in Texas and Pennsylvania and Colorado. These are all great shows. And here's the fascinating part is that people don't know the difference between ABC Nebraska and ABC Nightly News. I would imagine that many of you don't even know what I'm talking about, what the difference is. But there is a big difference between the ABC Nightly News and ABC News in Nebraska. But most people don't recognize the difference. They just see ABC logo and there you are on ABC. And that's one of the great things about this whole experience is that you're getting to build a national television platform using local TV. I invented that. Build a national television platform using local TV, which is way easier to do than going on national TV. Although, in reality, the appearance on national TV is oftentimes, by the mechanics of it, it's easier to go on bigger and better shows because the hosts are better and they know how to interrupt you better than on smaller shows. That's what I say. These hosts of TV shows are professional interrupters. They know how to interrupt you. That's their job, is to interrupt you.
Strategically.
Their job is to interrupt you because they're going to say, well, I really appreciate you coming in today, but that's all the time we have. So tell the people, how can they find out more about your book or whatever they're going to say? And when they say that, then you have to be gracious and answer the question and exit because they're on time. I was in studio like today. I don't know if any of you, first of all, everyone here should be my friend on Facebook. If you're not my friend on Facebook, you need to add me as a friend on Facebook because that's where I post everything. And today, one of the things I reposted was Dave Asprey. Who knows who Dave Asprey is? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, even Adrian knows who Dave Asprey is. You don't know who he is?
We just saw him 2 weeks
Bulletproof
ago.
Coffee. You never heard of that? No? You can say no.
Bulletproof?
Bulletproof Coffee.
Nope.
No? Okay, well, Dave Asprey is pretty much as successful a celebrity entrepreneur as you can be.
You talking Black Rifle Coffee? Is that what
No? Bulletproof Coffee.
In the
Just
book.
danger coffee.
No.
Now he does Danger Coffee. He's a biohacking expert. He has a biohacking conference. He invented this thing where you add butter to coffee. And that was called Bulletproof Coffee. And it's a biohack on coffee. And he's a Wharton Business School graduate like me. I was in a mastermind with him. I've known him for many years. I wrote about him in my book, Speaking Game. And I also wrote about him in Wisdom of the Men, as a matter of fact. And, in terms of successful celebrity entrepreneurs, I would say in the coaching industry, Tony Robbins is the most successful celebrity entrepreneur. He's not a real celebrity, but to everyone here, raise your hand if you know who Tony Robbins is. Everybody knows who he is, right? Okay, to everyone here, Tony Robbins, you would be happy if you had a career similar to Tony Robbins, if you're in the coaching industry. Outside the coaching industry, I would say Grant Cardone is probably the most successful celebrity entrepreneur, right alongside Damon John and Michael Hershkovitz and Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful may be the most successful celebrity entrepreneur right now. He's on TV all the time. He's so successful on TV. What is the difference? Celebrity entrepreneurs are famous to their clients and prospects. They're not famous like George or Lady Gaga or Oprah or Bill and Hillary or Angelina. You see what I'm saying? I just say the first name and you know who I'm talking about. That's real celebrity. Celebrity entrepreneurs, if I say Tony, you don't know who I'm talking about. But if I say Tony Robbins, then you know who I'm talking about. So Dave Asprey is really very high up there. He's right underneath Grant Cardone in terms of being successful as a celebrity entrepreneur. She agrees.
Now look, Hal Elrod was one of the speakers at his conference a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Hal Elrod.
Because of you.
Yeah, Hal Elrod came to Celebrity Launchpad #1. He signed up for Celebrity Launchpad #1. He said, and then he called me the next day. And he said, Clint, I'm sorry. I talked it over with my wife, Ursula. And this is exactly what he said, word for word. I talked it over with my wife, Ursula, last night, and we just can't afford for me to go to Celebrity Launchpad. I said, no, Hal, your story is too important. You have to come to Celebrity Launchpad. If you can't afford the monthly installments, we'll just make more installments for a lesser amount so we can come up with a number that you can afford to do monthly. And that's what we did. Instead of 6 installments, he did 10 installments and was able to come. And he got booked on almost every show. And now
He's at the Dave Asprey conference.
Now he's a main stage speaker at the Dave Asprey conference, but more important than that, he has sold at least 3 million copies of his self-published books. The Miracle Morning, with a royalty of $8 a book. That's what he told me. Look, go on YouTube, type in Clint Arthur, Hal Elrod. You'll see the interview. So that's more important. That's real impact. He's a successful celebrity entrepreneur, but he's more of a speaker. He's really way more of a speaker and a best-selling author. But in any case, Dave Asprey just last night posted himself on the Arizona Daily Mix. Now, we used to have the producer of the Arizona Daily Mix come to Celebrity Launchpad. He came at least 10 Celebrity Launchpads. The Arizona Daily Mix is not the #1 morning show in Phoenix, Arizona. It's a little tiny independent station morning show. And Dave Asprey was on there yesterday promoting something. So I posted, Dave Asprey's on local TV promoting himself. Why aren't you on local TV promoting yourself? You have to understand, local TV is just a way to get free marketing videos. And the people who come, especially multiple times, understand that what you're getting from going on local TV is many, many things. But at the very base level, you're getting free marketing videos produced in professional fucking studios, not in somebody's garage, like most studios in Buffalo. We're not in a garage. We're in a professional studio that's been created at a great cost of hundreds of thousands of dollars by professional lighting engineers and set designers, and like they're picking out the professional video equipment. It's the real deal. And it's a whole, and sound insulation. It's a whole different kind of thing. Then you get to work with professional hosts, producers, directors, cameramen, sound people. Although the sound people are always the worst. Unfortunately, it's a terribly underappreciated position in a TV studio. They usually will have a production assistant or somebody mic you up. And while it is not your responsibility to get your mic on properly, it is your problem if you don't have it on properly. Okay? So if you are mic'd incorrectly, then you need to say something. And mostly what you need to realize is you want to make sure that your microphone is not going to be rubbing on something. Like, for example, when Kellyanne Petrucci, who's another one of my superstars, who is on QVC Fabulous Over 50 tonight, promoting her bone broth products, which she launched out of Celebrity Launchpad. And after her second time coming to Celebrity Launchpad, she got on Fox Los Angeles, which led to Good Morning America, which led to a regular, recurring, paid appearance on Dr. Oz every month until that show went off the air. And when she went on Good Morning America the first time, she was mic'd incorrectly because of her costume. They couldn't help it. She had a shitty costume, and her costumes are always terrible. She's more into fashion than function, and that is the wrong attitude, okay? When it comes to, write this on your celebrity marketing thing, function over fashion. Function over fashion. She had, on Good Morning America, she was wearing a turtleneck sweater. And the only place to clip the microphone was right here on the turtleneck, and it was rubbing on her neck. So on her Good Morning America appearance, number one, you kept hearing as the microphone rubbed on her neck. Unbelievable. So if Dave Asprey could go on local TV, even a little tiny show in Phoenix, Arizona, you should be going on local TV. Because believe me, Dave Asprey knows what he's doing. Yeah. Okay, good. So self-interest is the number one thing. Then the second thing that is important about TV, I've been hearing about the death of TV since I started this thing. This guy, Paul Colligan, you know who that is? Paul Colligan had a podcasting seminar, and he was constantly talking about the death of television. Since fucking 2012, he's been talking about the death of television. And I don't think television's going anywhere. Notice every single high-ranking member of Donald Trump's cabinet is a media-savvy, frequent guest on television. If they're on TV every day. And the reason why they're on TV every day, and the reason why they were picked for those jobs, is because they're master communicators, and nothing will make you a master communicator better than TV. Okay? That's the real value. Hey, there's a stool for you. Or take any stool you want. Nothing will make you a master communicator better than TV, because TV is hard. Video is hard. Audio is easy. Video is hard. Because on video, you have to remember to keep smiling. On video, you have to have good posture. On video, you have to have a good costume. On video, you have to know how to have energy and use your hands. You have to speak with your hands. On video, you have to know what to do with your eyes. On video, you have to worry about your skin and your hair. As opposed to audio, where all you have to do is know how to talk, which is not so easy to do. Most people hosting audio podcasts have no business hosting audio podcasts because they really don't know how to talk. And it's really not an easy thing to do, to talk in an entertaining way. I didn't feel like I was qualified to even write my book, The Speaking Game, until I realized, holy cow, two things that I realized. Holy cow, I've made millions of dollars as a speaker, going on stages, and not getting a check, but getting credit cards on order forms. I've made millions and millions and millions of dollars just offering things from the stage and collecting credit cards. That was one thing that I thought about. But the thing that really made me understand that I was very successful as a speaker was when I did an interview with one of the 4 National Speakers Association Hall of Fame members that I have been mentored by, Joel Weldon, and he wanted to talk to me about my book, The 21 Performance Secrets of Donald Trump. And one great book can change everything for you. One great book can change everything for you. That book changed everything for me. But it wasn't what got me on the Today Show. I mean, I had already been on the Today Show prior to writing that book, but that book really took my whole career on TV to a much higher level. But when I did that interview with Joel, I said, I figure I'm in the top 5% of money earners in the National Speakers Association because I earn 7 figures a year as a speaker. And he goes, oh, no, you're in the top 1% of money earners in the National Speakers Association. And when I heard that, that's when I finally felt qualified to write the book on how do you really make it as a speaker. And that book is called The Speaking Game, 7-Figure Speaker Secrets Revealed. Great book. I even spent money on the design of that book. I think it's the only book of mine that I did not personally design. I wanted it to be professionally designed. I showed this designer. I went on Upwork, I think, and I showed this designer several books that I admired the design of, and I said, make me a book with a similar design. I wanted it to be very graphic and visual and fun to just move quickly through. And that's The Speaking Game. So nothing will help you to become a master communicator like going on television. Now, when I was on the Today Show, I said some things that I'd never said before because I spoke out of my true knowing, my true knowledge of what I was talking about. That's what I really love about being on TV. Like why I enjoy going on TV so much is because you're 100% in the moment. If you're thinking about what you're supposed to say, then you're not going to have fun on TV because you need to be just an expert talking from your true knowledge. And if you can do that, if you can get to the point where you're an expert talking from your true knowledge, then you're going to have a great time on TV because you're 100% living in the moment. Those are the best times in life. Like I think about the times in my life where I've just felt the most alive. And they've been the times when I've been 100% present in the moment, not in my head, not thinking about what I'm supposed to do tomorrow afternoon or what happened 3 days ago in traffic, but I'm just there alive in the moment. And when you can be like that, that's, I think, what it really feels like to be living life to its fullest, especially when you're fulfilling your mission on this planet, when you're having the impact and the influence and contributing to your income of going on a major television show like the Today Show or Fox Business Channel or BBC or any of the big shows or Dr. Oz or whatever. or Fox Los Angeles, when you're on a big show and you're really making your unique difference in the world, that's really fun. That's really living. And you can only get that by going on TV. I mean, I've spoken on stages. I've spoken on some pretty big stages. I've spoken at Harvard and Cambridge and Oxford and the London Stock Exchange and NASDAQ and the New York Academy of Medicine and the Philadelphia College of Physicians and the Royal Society of Medicine and Microsoft, Porsche, AT&T. I mean, I've pretty much hit all the major venues, the places where you can speak that have the highest status in the world. Carnegie Hall. I remember when Allie sent me the picture, she put up the slide. See that slide on TV? It says Celebrity Launchpad, right? She put that slide up on the screen at Carnegie Hall and texted me a photo of it and said, "Congratulations, Clint, you just made it to Carnegie Hall." And I was at the printers taking care of getting some posters printed for the front of the Carnegie Hall. They have these brass boxes where you can put your poster to advertise your event. But speaking on a stage like that doesn't equal TV. It really doesn't. And I'm not exactly sure why, but I think it is the controlled studio situation. I think it's the fact that you're in, like, Studio 1A at 30 Rockefeller Center is not much bigger than this suite. The entire studio is not much bigger than this suite. And in the ceiling are 1,000 lights. And all around, like, you know, where I was sitting here, and Brooke Shields was right there. So you're Brooke Shields today. Congratulations. and, and in this little room were crammed 100 people watching who were wishing they were sitting where I was. And there was like 10 video cameras capturing every possible angle. It is the most unnatural situation that can possibly be. The most artificial situation that you could possibly be in. And your job as an expert guest on a TV show like that is to come off as natural. It's a fascinating situation. You're in the most unnatural situation, and your job is to appear to be natural. And there are tricks that we learn, the most important of which is to be constantly smiling. So write down on your celebrity marketing note, smile more, because no matter how much you're smiling, it's not enough. And then the second most important thing that you will see every single great guest on every national television morning show do is laughing. You have to laugh when you're on these shows. You really want to engineer a situation where you can laugh. Because that is what shows that you feel natural and comfortable. That's what really, if you're not able to laugh unless you're comfortable. If you're the slightest bit uncomfortable, you can't laugh. And that's why every single great morning show guest will laugh on Good Morning America. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Just have to think of something funny, you guys.
Ideally, you're going to engineer this. You're going to build it in. You will leave nothing to chance. That's the mark of a great communicator, a master communicator. And that's what this really is all about. Becoming a master communicator where you can go into any situation, even the most unnatural, uncomfortable situations, and be calm, cool, collected, and walk out with money. That's what this is about. Because look, it's not about what the money can buy. It's about what the money signifies. It signifies success, impact, influence. It signifies you achieving, and that's what we really want. Then the last thing I would say about the success of Celebrity Launchpad and how come I've been able to get to Celebrity Launchpad number 60 is that I do the impossible in this seminar, okay? I bring in people who know nothing about TV, and I get you booked on at least 3 shows. We've never had anybody who's been invited on less than 4 shows. We've never, ever had anyone be invited on less than 4 shows, ever, in the course of doing 60 of these events, with an average of, I would say, 12 people. Because there were many Celebrity Launchpads where we had 16, 18 people in the room. So I would say with an average of 12 times 60, that's 720 people that have come through this thing. Not one person has been invited on less than 4 shows. And I remember, if you look at Lisa Sasevich testimonial for Clint Arthur or for Celebrity Launchpad on YouTube, she'll say, there were people in the room where I was thinking, how is he possibly going to achieve this? Yeah, I've been able to achieve it because people, unfortunately, sometimes people need to fall on their face before they're willing to listen and do what Clint says. And that's unfortunate because what happens then is that you miss out on getting invited on shows. When you don't do what I say, you're not going to get on the show. And that's really unfortunate because later today, we have 2 really easy pitches, really easy phone pitches, where you're going to have, you could just read your pitch off of a piece of paper. If you just say the words and practice those words and just read it off your page, you'll get booked on these shows. But if you want to do it your way, then it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen because I know what these people want. But what I have been able to do, and this is what Allie said originally, I'm like, Allie, we're going to guarantee that these people are going to get invited on shows. And she's like, what, are you crazy? How can you guarantee it? What if they suck? What if they're no good? Well, I'm just going to make sure that they're going to do what I tell them to do. And if they do what I tell them to do, then they're going to get on the shows. So what I really want to ask from everyone here today is that you're going to be coachable. Raise your hand if you're willing to be coachable today. Raise your hand. That's a very half-hearted raise there, Linda.
You know what's happening? Everything you're saying is getting typed into my notes here.
That's not good.
I know. So.
Okay, good.
So I'm trying to deal with this. Sorry about that.
Yeah, all right. You just got to be coachable.
20 points.
You just got to be coachable and do what Clint says, and you will get more out of this than you can imagine. All right? So those are my top 3 things that I've learned from doing 60 Celebrity Launchpads. And then, of course, I have to over-deliver because that's my modus operandi. I always over-deliver on everything that I promise. So I promised you that I would talk about the 3 most important things that I learned from doing 60 Celebrity Launchpads. And the bonus one is this. You do not have to save the entire world.
Why not? I'm only kidding.
You really don't have to save the entire world.
Why did I buy the cake for?
Why'd you buy the cake? That's true. You don't have to save the entire world, and most likely you will not be able to save the entire world. Okay? Celebrity entrepreneurship is about making a difference to your target market, not the whole world. I ask rooms full of financial advisors from big firms in New York City, at the Harvard Club of New York City, who's the guy in the picture with me? And it's Grant Cardone. And raise your hand if you know who Grant Cardone is. Every hand in this room goes up. In that room, not one hand went up, because they have no idea who Grant Cardone is, because he's not making a difference in their world. The guys at Morgan Stanley don't give a shit about Grant Cardone.
That's right.
They don't need him. They got Morgan Stanley.
Yeah. That's right.
Or at least that's what they think. They could probably use his help. Star says they could. Yeah, they could probably use his help. But they don't know who he is. They don't care. He's not marketing to them. And that's the real power of celebrity entrepreneurship. And that's the real power of doing a small seminar like this. Celebrity Launchpad started out in 2013 with 12 people. And I remember the first time we did it, I think we made $36,000 altogether. And Allie and I went out to celebrate and have margaritas. And we were like, yeah, this is what every weekend should be like, okay? Okay? That's when Celebrity Launchpad was $3,600 as a single pay, or 5 times $9.99. That's what it was. And Hal Elrod couldn't afford that, so I had to make it 10 installments for him so he could come. And now Celebrity Launchpad is $10,000 as a single pay, or 6 times $19.95. So if you do the math on just the people in the room, you can see we're doing way better than that. And then we invented upsells from that, which means, like, you know, what is your job as a coach, as a consultant, as an advisor? Your job is to help people get a result that they want. That's your real job. Now, Celebrity Launchpad is going to get you invited on at least 3 shows this weekend. That's guaranteed. We've never failed. Some people may want additional help after that. And we've invented, with the advice and consent of Lisa Sasevich. Lisa Sasevich is the one who said, hey, now that this seminar is ending, you need to have the next thing. Because people need to realize that this is over, and if they want to continue to have your coaching after this, then they need to have participation in your continuing program. So that's where Platinum was invented. Platinum was invented for that. And then after Platinum came Titanium, because some people want additional business coaching from me. You know, I'm a Wharton Business School graduate. I'm Dan Kennedy's Info Marketer of the Year. I've created numerous seminars that have made millions of dollars. I call those 7-figure seminars. I've taught the seminar called 7-Figure Seminar Secrets Revealed. That was a great, great event. Were you at that one, Chris?
I was.
Was that a great event?
Excellent.
Excellent event, yes. I'm an expert at sales. I'm an expert at all these things. And Allie has unbelievable relationships with these producers. These producers love Allie the most, and she can get you additional bookings just by talking to her friends who are these producers. So we invented Platinum, and then I invented Titanium to go to the next level for people who want me to coach them in studio. No one can coach you. Like Dr. Kellyanne said, if you want to be a celebrity, nobody can coach you like Clint can. That's exactly what she said. So people have gotten great benefit by continuing in our advanced coaching programs. And as a result of that, people have gone on to achieve their dreams, make millions, get huge on TV. You'll see the lists of the people who've gone on to do really great things on television. And as a result of this, I mean, we've done 60 Celebrity Launchpads. I estimate the revenues from the Celebrity Launchpads doing groups of 12 people.
I'm
God.
gonna say, calculator.
I think so. Yeah. I just want to make sure I say the right number.
You might forget a zero or add one.
Yeah, exactly. Bring it over here.
So, okay, so 60.
It's about 7 million.
That's
Well-
just on the front end.
Yeah.
That's just on the front
And
end.
that's just paying.
Times 10.
That's not doing installments. That's just
Yeah, that's just
because it's
for tuition for Celebrity Launchpad.
10,000
Yeah.
times 12 times 60.
Yeah.
Is 7.2 million.
But then there's the back end,
Yeah, then there's the
which is
titanium and platinum.
titanium and platinum, which are 10,000 and 25,000. Okay? So you can see that if you get a little tiny event and can put 12 people in a room, it's way more than $10 million worth of revenues. From working a couple of weekends a year, 3, 4, 5. In the beginning, we were doing 6 weekends a year, but it's way more than $10 million.
Yeah. I mean, you're working all the time, talking to people and stuff.
Yeah, you're talking to people.
Especially Alan.
We're talking to people, but I'll tell you what, for a guy who used to drive a taxi, I will assure you, this ain't work.
Yeah, true.
Okay? This is not work.
This is fun.
And everyone is our friend
Yeah.
and our family. So it's
I'm
like-
working with smart people who are not kicking in my driver's side window and trying to steal my money. Okay? They're, people who pay, people who are smart, who know stuff. I'm learning stuff all the time from my clients, learning about why I bought a motorcycle and, all kinds of stuff.
Why you swim naked?
Why I swim naked, exactly. I'm learning all kinds of things and becoming a better person and a better communicator and having, like Ali developed this whole event called Share Your Gifts. We have a huge network of experts. If there's anything we ever need, we know who exactly to call. That's why the producers come to us, because they want our expert Rolodex, basically.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, on any given day, I could get a call or a text because these producers.
I need somebody tomorrow who knows how to do this. So my point is you don't need to save the whole freaking world. All you need to do is save 12 people at a time, a couple times a year, and you can make many, many millions of dollars. Okay? And that is the bonus takeaway. You don't got to save the whole world. That's what celebrity entrepreneurship is. Just saving 12 people at a time. Okay? All right. Was that valuable? Helpful?
Very much.
Worth 42 minutes of your time?
Yes. I'm up to 21 nuggets from Clint.
You got 21 nuggets just from that?
Total, no, from last weekend.
Oh, from last weekend and this. So you got 17 last weekend.
Well, no, I got more. Today, I have more than that.
You should have only had 4 from this. No, there was
I
more
had
than 4.
1, 2,
There was many
3,
more than 4.
4, 5, 6. I have 8 from today.
Okay, good.
But I think we're nuggets.
Okay, good. Thank you. Good. Well, congratulations. And congratulations to all of you for being here. This weekend, lives will be changed, destinies will be changed, and careers will be changed. And, what I love about this is the ripple effect of this all, the meta. All of you have your own tribes. All of you will be saving many more than 12 people. And by me helping you, you're going to get to help a lot more people.
Multiplier,
Yep.
Yeah, I got on the finals of Steve Forbes' pitch competition last week.
Yeah, Elle was on the main stage at Freedom Fest pitching Steve Forbes.
I didn't think I would have had the confidence to just come in last minute and do that. So I got down to the last week.
What do you attribute that to? The confidence?
Definitely to the mentorship. To I think a lot to the speaking engagements.
Uh-huh.
And practicing my story, because I put a bit of my story in the beginning of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a lot of just relaxing into enjoying it, presenting, just having gone through the motions numerous times. Because actually the pitch competition, people had entered 3 months in advance and had 3 months of coaching, and I didn't know that. I just came in last minute and just did it on the back of a napkin and just did it. And got
Blew them all away and got to the final top 3.
And I don't think that would have happened if I hadn't had all the coaching.
Yeah, story is everything. I mean, all you need is your little story of how your dad tragically died in a drowning accident, okay?
I know.
That's all. That's really that's
I'm
why the
starting out that way.
Good, because that's what I put in the
That's it.
script.
I know.
Okay.
It was because I hadn't prepared that much, but I think because of that story, it opened the doors into going into the final. And
Yeah, because no one else has story.
and now I've got a few of the top judges wanting to invest in it as well.
Awesome.
And I think it's the story that did that. Yeah.
So
And I
Ellen,
would have
it's
done
Shark
it
Tank next.
It's all story. It's all story, and that's why we've got to get story in.
But I don't think I wouldn't have entered if I didn't think I could have done it, and I don't think I necessarily would have, done it. Thought I could do it if I hadn't had the training.
That's right. Celebrity entrepreneurship will give you more confidence.
Gave me a lot more confidence.
Going on TV. You want more confidence? Really?
Yeah.
You want to conquer the world and have more confidence and have employees not quitting or needing to be fired? Go on 50 TV shows and watch your life change. Seriously. It changes everything. Walk into 50 random TV studios all across America and make something out of those appearances and deal with these producers and hosts and get video and answer questions that you have no idea. When I was on the Today Show, they asked me, Michelle from Long Island wants to know, after a bad relationship, how should she go into the new year? Who am I to answer that question?
Well, Michelle, let me tell you what I should tell you.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you're buying time. to
I
answer.
didn't buy time. I said, hey, just let go. Okay? Just let it go and you will have a beautiful thing. And Brooke Shields said, well, I feel better already. So if Brooke Shields felt better, then you know it must have been the right answer.
What was your expertise that you went on there for?
Why did they have me on?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why they had me on, and it took me a long time to understand why they had me on the Today Show. They had me on the Today Show because I chased the Hollywood dream for 13 years and then quit.
Okay.
Okay?
So it was relevant. Yeah.
I quit.
Your answer was relevant.
Well, no, they had me on New Year's Eve.
No, but your answer was just let go.
Oh,
but that's
New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
You know what, Elle? I never even realized that is why the answer came. It is, you have to just let go.
Yeah.
Just like I let go of chasing the Hollywood dream. I had let go of chasing the Hollywood dream. And it's not easy, but that's what you have to do.
But why did they ask you a relationship question?
I don't know. That's my point.
Yeah, but you had the right answer.
I did have the right answer. Because when you're on TV, you have to just speak from what you actually know. And you can't let your head get in the way. I didn't think, well, what should I say? I was just trying to say something.
Speak from your heart. Clint, I gotta tell you, I had a really...
Louder. Louder.
I have to tell you this because the night after our event in Houston, at 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and it dawned on me, I'm really good at communicating what I do.
Louder.
I'm excellent at communicating what I do. What I don't do is communicate who I am.
Okay. And you've heard this many
No,
times.
but I'm just saying that was really good for
You've
me.
heard this many times. No one cares
I know.
what you do
I
until
know.
they know why you care,
But I
right?
had to
And
have-
why you care is who you are.
I know, but I had to have my own epiphany moment. You can tell people that all the time.
Right.
And it can just kind of go, but I had quite an experience that night, I can tell you.
Okay.
What's interesting, let me finish, is I've talked to other professional people in my industry, and apparently that's really common for us.
Yeah.
And so it was really very interesting for me not only to realize that, but also to share that.
Thank you. That's very good.
And I wanted you to know to thank you.
Okay. And I want to piggyback off that, and this is why he's here for his 4th time. You didn't get it until just in the middle of the night, and you've been to how many events now?
3.
3? Okay.
Yeah. Or 4 maybe.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Okay. And basically, I'm all about who are you and why should I care?
Yeah.
Right? Who are you and why should I care? And the first part of it is, who are you?
Right.
Because until I know who you are, I couldn't possibly care.
Yeah. But Clint, I had, this has been very traumatic for me to tell my story.
I know.
And so it's been kind of it's been a work in progress.
Okay.
But we're getting there.
Okay. But this is why people come to this event and many of my events over and over and over. Because when I was part of my first $10,000 mastermind, when I was sitting in your seat and I was the one paying $10,000 to be part of the mastermind, I saw the guy say the same thing 10 times before I got it. He said, you have to have a formula for how your customers, this is what he said, I don't have customers, I have clients. I think customers buy Big Macs at McDonald's, okay? People in our industry who have $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, $25,000, $30,000, $100,000 clients. In our industry, we don't have customers, we have clients. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. Customers come in, it's a transaction. This is way different than a transaction. These are ongoing relationships with smart people who pay lots of money. Those are clients. And it took me 10 times of hearing this guy say, you need a formula for how your customers can recreate your success, before I finally got it and I created my mathematical formula for how to get on TV anytime you want for free, which is what has resulted in my students being able to book themselves using my proposals that I create for them and others that they've learned how to create using my formula. We've booked more than 6,800 television appearances with ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox because I have a formula for how my customers, which are my clients, can recreate my success, which is my mathematical formula for how to get on TV anytime you want for free, which is what I've used to engineer each of your segments.
Guaranteed.
Whoa, that is profound.
The formula.
That is profound.
And it took me 10 times to hear that before I got it. And I'm not a dummy. So sometimes you got to hear stuff over and over and over before you get it. It's just, but when you do get it, then you get something like Celebrity Launchpad. Look, Celebrity Launchpad came out of the formula. The formula came before Celebrity Launchpad, when I only had my online group coaching. I already created the formula. Yeah. What?
No, she's very impressed.
Well, that is
It's a deep thing when you get it.
Right.
When you get it, what the formula is.
Okay, yeah, I
Which
get it.
aspect is that? Because it's
No,
expressing a mathematical
he
formula.
has me say, he has me give a speech, thank God I got raped. Then I say what I learned from that rape and how I learned to heal. And now the formula is, they don't have to be raped, but you have to come out of trauma and learn to heal. And now I'm teaching them how to do that. And if I can recreate that in them, they will be successful, healthy, happy, vital.
Yes,
Right? That's a big deal.
it is a big deal.
And it's hard to do,
And it is hard to
Yeah.
do
but it's worth it.
until you have the awareness that it is possible to create a formula for anything. Okay? It is possible to create a mathematical formula for any result that you want to achieve.
And what's your mathematical formula, the number of times, because I'm just trying to wrap my head around what that is, because I'm understanding the concept that you're teaching, but when you're using the terms...
Louder.
When you're using the terms...
Louder.
When you are using the terms mathematical...
You're not talking louder. You need to talk louder.
Okay.
Please.
When
It
you
sounds like yelling, but that's what we have to do.
Okay. I'm not used to doing that.
You have to talk
My
louder.
kids would say otherwise.
That was
My kids
good
would
right
say
there.
otherwise.
Yeah, talk about your kids. Good.
They would say otherwise. Mom, do not yell at me. But
That was
what-
good.
I know people say to me all the time, Allie will say, "Don't yell at me," and I'm like, "I'm not yelling. I'm just talking."
That's okay. Just wrapping my head around, when you say a mathematical formula, I'm thinking 2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah, it
But really
uses
what
that.
you're talking about. So what's the mathematical
It's
formula?
algebraic.
Yes, so tell me what do you mean by that?
Well, that's in the online training.
And you can't share that today.
I don't have time to share that today. I can't teach you the whole formula today. It's in the online training.
The online training that you sent to us.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The mathematical formula is right in there.
Oh.
But it's not that formula like 2 + 2 is 4?
It is.
Okay.
H to the x plus c to the x plus p plus d plus ta/f equals TV.
Okay.
Awesome, got that.
Yeah,
Way to go. Yeah.
I understand. It's an algebraic formula. Hey man, when I was taking calculus in high school, I didn't understand a fucking word the guy was saying. But I was able to invent my mathematical formula that I just spouted off for you. And it took me 10 times of hearing, you got to have a formula for how your customers can recreate your success before I took off my name badge at a seminar and I wrote the formula on the back of the name badge. I wrote down that. And that's what you got to do too.
I had an insight actually.
Insight, yes.
My insight was that when you
Louder, please.
when you control your own narrative, when you're talking about why should people care who you are,
Yes.
when you control your own narrative, it really does make a difference because, for instance, my story is I was on the trading floor of HSBC Investment Bank.
Yes.
I wasn't a trader.
Right.
I was actually working in corporate finance, doing research in corporate finance, but people immediately just think, and they never asked me, but I think they think I was an absolute top trader.
Yes.
They
Of
just
course.
assume that.
That's the golden balloon.
And it's amazing. And I was on the trading floor, but I was actually working corporate finance, and I went down to the trading floor. But people think that I was, and they just assume I was like the shit hottest trader ever.
That's the golden balloon,
Yeah.
which you know of. You understand the golden
Yeah,
balloon.
I do. Yeah.
If you want to learn the golden balloon, that's impact, influence, and income. That'll be December 3 through 9 in Acapulco. And your tuition includes room and board at the villa. It's pretty fabulous. Who's been to the villa? How fabulous is the villa? Amazing. It includes gourmet, gluten-free, sugar-free gastronomy. The menu is catered directly by me and Allie. It's prescribed by us.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, Star says. Is that right, Star?
Unbelievable.
Un-
Food is incredible.
Amazing, healthy, delicious. People lose weight at our events. Yep, it's awesome. Go to clintwith3ts.com to apply for my mentorship and be considered to attend Impact, Influence, and Income. Hey, that's going to wrap it up from this fabulous suite at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. That's going to wrap up this Celebrity Launchpad number 60 presentations and takeaways, the 3 plus the 1 bonus, and more. Thank you, everyone, for participating in this. It really was fun. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I'm looking forward to helping you, whoever you are, watching this video. If you're an author, speaker, coach, consultant, advisor, any kind of expert, if you want to make your dreams come true and have more impact, influence, and income, apply for my mentorship.